The Spin-Off Podcast Network.
This is Kiwi is back for a brand new season with more inspiring kōrero from special guests including rugby player, father and role model TJ Perenara.
My family bring me joy. Rugby brings me joy too, but it's not the same joy as my family brings me.
And global dancer and choreographer Kirsten Dodgen.
For some reason, people think I'm very intimidating.
Listen to the new season of This is Kiwi, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network in collaboration with Kiwi Bank. Available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Kia ora, this is Toby Manhire, here to urge you to tune in to Gone by Lunchtime, a podcast with me, Annabelle Lee Mather and Ben Thomas, tackling the world of New Zealand politics, from policy to polling, from scandal to psychodrama. Listen to Gone by Lunchtime, brought to you by the Spin-Off Podcast Network, wherever good pods are sold.
Are we live?
Are we doing it?
Are we doing it live?
Tina,
are we recording, Tina?
Tina, are you recording?
Well, okay.
Oh my god, the chaos, the earwigs.
The earwig. Can I tell a story about earwigs just before we get into it?
Yeah, but should we provide context?
Shall I just introduce the podcast?
Okay.
No?
Okay. Yeah, no.
I think it's a good idea.
Welcome along to The Real Pod, your reality TV recap and real life in New Zealand podcast. I'm Jane Yee, joined by Duncan Grieve and Alex Casey of The Spin-Off, brought to you by Nando's. And Duncan wants to start off with... Huh? Go on then. That's your cue.
I want to talk about... Well, we had an earwig in the studio. And I've got a problem with earwigs. Like, I'm pretty chill about bugs generally. I don't love a maggot, but all the other ones are basically fine. But earwigs, I got told when I was a kid, like a young kid, like a youngster in London, that earwigs were so named because they crawled into your ear and ate your brain. And when you look at them, they do have a bit of a sus vibe with the pincers out the back.
I just thought that was like fact.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see,
Is that not how we were all
Is that not what they do?
I thought that was like just like some little punked English primary school edition.
Earwigs love getting in your ears.
And
I think
eating
that
your
earwig
brains?
came out of my ear today. I sat down and there was an earwig on the desk.
That's true, actually. Anyway,
Okay.
we've flung it from the window and it looked like it's just out there. It's wigging
I
out.
have the definitive answer from weirdheads.com about earwigs and
Let me
their
know.
propensity to go into ears. It's extremely rare for an earwig to wiggle into someone's ear. It isn't like earwigs prefer to be in a human ear. There's nothing in there that they want except maybe some moisture and warmth. I mean, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
But they can and do crawl into the ears of some people.
I mean, anything can crawl into your ear, though. I mean, what's
That's true.
the bloody bad
So when
ear
I say
tree?
definitive,
Anyway,
you
it's
know,
just
apparently
been...
we swallow X amount of spiders in our sleep
Yeah,
as
8 or
humans,
something
just generally.
in a lifetime.
A lifetime. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so welcome along to Real Pod. It's been a real hectic morning, and I've got a hard out at in 44 minutes, so perhaps it's time for the earwig chat to end and the podcast proper to begin.
Okay, so thank you very much, Nando's. Not only purveyors of fine chicken, delicious vegetarian options, as well as cheesy garlic pita bread and halloumi and all sorts, peri-peri fries, but also the lovely and generous hosts of the Corny Christmas, the second annual Corny Christmas. Full disclosure, we just had a technical, so I don't exactly know where we were up to. Where
We
up
were
to
just
for
singing
Corny
the
Christmas?
praises of
We
the
were
Corny
just about to launch in.
Christmopia.
You were so
Okay.
missed, Jane.
Oh.
I'm sorry I keep talking about you like you're dead on social media
Yeah.
and in real life.
I kind of am dead on social media. I deleted my public social media account, forever gone.
It's crazy.
Whoa,
even notice.
They
well,
went to
can't
take
get
you
it
in.
back.
Can't get it back.
Love it.
Gone. Yeah.
I want to do it.
Anyway, do it.
It's a movement.
I mean,
I would never
sorry,
do it.
we're not supposed to be talking about that.
Corny Christmas. It was a
Woohoo!
rip-roaring success. There were
It looked
celebrities,
amazing.
including, but not limited to, JT from Survivor, Ben Blackwell from Married at First Sight. Yeah, you gotta lead. You gotta lead with a biggie. Well, I love Clayton, how Clayton and JT arrived at the same time, and Clayton arrived with this giant glittering plate of gorgeous like reindeer macarons.
With like feet for days.
Feet for days and years. He was covered in glitter himself, just like a real presence. And then behind him was just JT, like a very worthwhile celebrity, but didn't bring any feet-bearing macarons.
But he
so-
also walked in like, he sort of slunk in.
He did slink. Colin
But that's
Mather,
his
Jeffrey.
thing. Like he was on Survivor and he's just surviving.
That's
Whereas
true.
Clayton
He
is
baking.
being a great Kiwi baker, you know.
That's true. And then the
Carry on.
the big guest of the evening was Colin Mather, Jeffrey, of course, who showed up with his Lexus #LexusAdventures #Lexusously chauffeur named Kevin.
That was so mean.
Kevin.
Hey, I feel like you missed one. Quite a big one. Benjamin Blackwell.
I said Benjamin Blackwell.
Did you?
I said Benjamin Blackwell.
Oh, say it again.
Benjamin Blackwell.
So good.
Who donated literally something that should be in a real museum.
The look of panic in your eyes when you realise what you were just doing was absolutely.
He has donated to the
Perfect.
Real Pub Museum his legal marriage certificate with Aaron Chisholm, which is, well, he says, and I believe to be true, without having done any research, the only legal gay reality TV marriage certificate. Well, certificate from a reality TV marriage in the world.
Or at least
I'm
from the
almost
Married at First Sight franchise,
frightened.
surely.
Like, are we okay to hold such a
I don't
global
know.
taonga?
I think we need to put it on. We need to put the door on code red, which means we shut it.
We need like one of those like Ocean's 12 style
Yeah.
vaults. I'm
Yeah,
just
we could
making,
set
like,
it. We should set up some
a round signal.
lasers.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot more lasers.
Yeah. God, yeah.
It was really crazy watching it unfold from the other side of the world. I felt like Fergie, as in
Fergalicious.
Princess Fergie.
Oh,
no, the other one. Like kind of technically still part of the family, but on the outer, you know, looking in. That's what I felt like. But I had major FOMO, and I think like you put on a really good social media spectacle. Can I just say, if you're going from like an influencer event standpoint, you had like the delicious treats, you had the celebrity talent, you had the kind of feeling like people were there connecting, being part of something, and I felt really left out, but in a good way.
Okay, as long as it was
well
in
done.
a good way.
Oh
Kind of a
no,
cool
it wasn't.
way.
It's terrible. I was crying all night
Well, we
long.
did print out your huge head. I mean, I don't
Well,
think your
hang
head
on.
is that big, but the one we've printed out
Thank
is
you.
massive. It's absolutely massive.
yeah, it's a monster.
I felt like I was there.
It
I
fe-
don't
it-
feel like
it-
I was
it
there. I
felt
wish
like
I'd been there.
your presence was there. It was just a beautiful time, and I love that it's an annual event, and we had a great microphone. There was just a lot
Don't-
of good things happening.
Classic real
We
pod
had a great
fashion. We
microphone.
sprinted to Kmart with about half an hour before the event and bought a $22 Bluetooth microphone that looked like a pepper grinder.
But like a sci-fi pepper grinder from like Blade Runner 2049.
And didn't really sound like anything, and just started aggressively beeping as soon as we started using it in the proceedings. But everyone knows what this podcast is. That's what I honestly like. Not to be too bloody misty-eyed, but it was a beautiful night, and
Aw.
I love the Cornies and I love the Real Pod community so much. And I want to
So
take the
amazing.
reality quiz on tour. So I'm putting that out there to gauge interest in other major cities, because I think we should do it.
And small towns.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do it. I mean,
Do they have to have an
international major cities?
No.
Maybe.
rustic. Just a minor heart attack. Speaking
I
of,
listened to your bonus pod that came out. I listened to your bonus pod
yeah.
while I was waiting for
Oh,
my mum at
thank
the
you.
airport. And it was real cute, the bit in between when you went from Tyson to Denise, and you could hear you guys whispering, we'll just call him Mum. Let's just call him Mum. And then she gets on, and you're like, hello, Denise. And from that moment onwards, not once did you call her Mum.
we bottled it.
Psyched
We
yourself
bottled
down.
We
it.
tanked.
I also liked your apology for your pronunciation.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like classic real pod as well. Oh dear.
So that, by the way, is a bonus podcast. You'll find the episode before this, which is an interview with Tyson and Denise, who won My Restaurant Rules this year.
We might do more of that kind of carry on.
Yeah, I think we should. Tyson also did promise to send us his the tractor they used to make the famous roadkill horrible pate
Yes.
smush. That is not
Justice for Real Pod.
Justice for Real Pod, exactly. Get another hashtag going along with
Don't
the
you
official.
think it's funny how our silly idea of the Real Pod Museum's actually turning into a thing?
It's
Like
real funny.
It's got proper stuff in it. That's
Brings
crazy.
me a lot of joy.
And our silly idea for a podcast turned into a podcast. Okay. Just also, the other thing I wanted to add is I actually met up with a Corny on the international circuit just the very morning after the Corny Christmas. Tanya Barlow.
Ooh,
She's in the corner.
we
and
love
she-
Tanya.
We love Tanya. And she's been touring around the States for a couple of months. And she happened to be staying about 250 metres down the road from me. So we caught up and had a lovely Christmas breakfast together yesterday.
Oh my god, that's so nice.
That's very
Isn't that so
friendly.
nice?
My heart.
Do we need to say anything more about the Corny Christmas or just...
Just that Nando's were like
Live.
unbelievably generous. We were groaning with food.
Mm-hmm.
It was a wonderful time. If you didn't come this year, make it your business to next. We had guests,
I
honoured guests
vow
from
to be there next year.
yeah, from Te Awamutu, and
Like Hamilton? Someone came from
Yep.
Hamilton?
it's worth the trip.
I did also see some people going, oh, wait, I didn't know about this. Where's the invite? Listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that's a tip.
You've showed your bloody hand there. And you're probably not listening now, so I've played
protester.
myself.
All
But
right.
it's an exclusive event.
Speaking of the internet, hashtag RealPod, facebook.com/TheRealPodPod, and our Instagram is @TheRealPodPod. Now it's time for real news. Man, sad news. R.I.P. to Shane and Nerida.
What?
Original. Yeah. It's over.
It's actually
You
devastating.
okay, Duncan?
I mean,
Is that
I
the
never
longest-
really knew them, but wow.
They're not dead, by the way. When I say R.I.P., just to clarify,
Yeah. It's good.
when I say R.I.P., I
Tell
mean the
me
marriage
all of the
is over.
information.
Let me look it up. I believe, they've just
10
split.
years.
Would you say that their
After
marriage
10
tango
years.
is over?
They first met in 2005. Both of them had partners at the time. Scandalous. And they hooked up, got together, had couple of kids, and that's it. Done burgers. And he's now a real estate agent, of course.
Yeah, of
She's
course.
still involved with Dancing with the Stars and so on.
Oh my god, their son's
And
called
he's
Case.
he's saying at my
sister.
sister's 40th. Does that mean anything to you?
He who?
Does that have any interest? He's saying at my sister's 40th. Shane Cortez,
Wow.
like in
my
his covers
God.
band.
I'd also
I
like
As
think
like
he's in a
Elvis?
covers band for hire. Just
just
as himself. Yeah.
We should hire Shane Cortez for something.
for a Gary Brown type
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
situation.
Okay, they have the strongest family bond. Their children come first, but we both need to find our own happiness outside our marriage.
Man, people are
is something
getting
they've
real
done
buzzy with their
before.
breakup announcement.
They have a son called Jet.
Bloody hell. Everyone's
taken all
it's
the-
become quite popular, the name Jet. With the
Who do
two
you think
T's.
started that? Yeah,
Well,
Joan?
or
Okay.
yeah, Joan probably.
Okay, Bachelorette cast are in Argentina. Well, we know they've been in Argentina very, very recently. And we deduced this by powers of excellent internet sleuthing after Art Green posted a couple of slides on Instagram of him lounging around a pool. And then there was a tennis court with this big brand Topper, which is apparently a sort of tennis brand or sports brand or something, but it's an Argentinian one. So someone was like, they're in Argentina. And then
That is amazing sleuthing.
I did some searching and found out exactly where they're staying, which I won't reveal because I don't want anyone to go and bother them. But it's a 3.5-star resort.
How the hell did you
losing it,
find
using
their
it, losing.
exact hotel? That is so.
Do you know what I did? I just Googled Argentina resort pool tennis court. And I found it.
Wow.
I had to kiss a few frogs first, but then I got my grip.
3.5 stars. It's such a New Zealand reality. Like, that just epitomizes us.
It really does.
We are...
Like, can you imagine The Bachelor or The Bachelorette US going anywhere that's 3.5 stars?
We're nearly
not
adequate.
even, not close. Wouldn't even walk past somewhere.
I also think Art Green's
cute.
losing it a bit. You know how he's got this running thing with this plant, which he calls Sir Plantington, which is now, if that's in Argentina, that's not coming home. He can forget about that.
No.
But it's now growing a little mushroom on it, which he's named. And he has this whole, like, I just feel like he's losing his mind a bit.
He is a new father, and he's not getting any sleep.
But he's in
He's
Argentina.
not
What does he care?
Yeah, well, she's probably FaceTiming him. You know, oh, Milo wants to say hello in the middle of the night. So no one's sleeping.
I'm not sleeping. No excuse.
No.
I'm not
Post
sleeping.
that.
Jacinda was on Stephen Colbert. Is that how you say it?
Colbert,
It's
yeah.
Colbert, right?
Yeah.
It's not Colbert. Should be.
I was actually supposed to check the comments on this. I wrote a very stupid piece about this for the spin-off. Once I
loved your
noticed
piece.
that Stephen Colbert has broken several crimes while on New Zealand soil. And News Hub, we have a content sharing agreement with them, and they've republished it. And oh boy, people do not get the joke, baby.
It's funny when your stuff goes outside of its usual audience.
It's real funny, eh?
It's real weird.
What are they saying? Are they like? What are they saying?
It's like, oh, that's right. It's too much time on their hands. Looks like a gnat. Or
That's
something.
true though.
Well,
I look like a gnat
I
as
got
in
you.
G-N-A-T.
Anyway, quite a lot of airtime, old Jacinda.
Big 12 mins. Yeah.
Big 12 months. That's a lot. But we had it all came together when I went with Mum to Sephora yesterday, and one of the ladies who worked there, I think, got chatting to me about New Zealand. She was like, "Oh, you're Prime Minister," and she got rid of all the semi-automatic weapons right after the shooting. And I was like, she's just watched that Stephen Colbert thing, like literally the night before, and it all just came full circle. It's very nice. It was a great promo piece.
It was good. I did cringe. I didn't like it when they were saying in the car. I thought it was an interesting choice. But, yeah, whatever. It was fine. The thing that shocks me the most is that bloody late shows are on really late in America.
people start late in America.
How do they do that?
Just, I guess maybe they sleep in a bit.
Do they start work later? How can you watch bloody Stephen Colbert, and then there's the Late Show, which is on at 11:30. Forget about it.
Well, I think also...
Is anyone watching in real time, though?
But, yeah, because they've also...
Because they're daily, right?
Yeah, but they have a lot of people in America. So even if it's actually only... Yeah, I know. So are you sitting down?
Hang on. If they're all done in a bunch of them are done in New York, right? So if they're done in New York on where I am on the West Coast,
That's true.
it's going to be playing like 3 hours earlier.
Oh.
But they don't do it live.
Sometimes they do.
Do they play it earlier?
No, they don't. No.
Or do they
sometimes
schedule it different?
They don't record it live, but they sometimes play it at the same time in two different territories.
Is that a true
At the
fact?
same time,
Too stupid to think about that.
Yeah, that's why they do that 8-7 Central thing when they're advertising times. It's like it's going to be at 8 o'clock here and 7 o'clock here.
Mm-hmm. But that's for the Grammys. Do they do that with the late shows?
I don't know, Duncan, because
How's this content?
This is so bad. Sorry. Apologies.
I reckon
Move on.
maybe we march on.
Okay, let's march on to some great new content, which is news to me. Duncan is starting a new pod.
I am. I actually feel real weirdly guilty when I wrote that. I was like,
Why?
You've both got your own podcasts.
Yeah.
It's about time I got my own. I inspired by the monopod and my own just being a bad man, how to end that sentence? Just boring myself with my mind. I'm going to start a media podcast. So I'm interviewing Sinead Boucher from Stuff today, and it doesn't quite have a name yet. We've got a lot of journalism cliches rattling around. It's probably going to be one of those with Duncan Grieve. So check thespinoff.co.nz. Probably early next week we'll pop it up. And if you liked the monopod, then it might be for you. That's basically what I'm saying.
I'd just like to say we
Can I
settled
make a
on a great
suggestion?
name, Deep Pard and Donkey.
That's copyright Jane Yu.
It is. If I could just have like 10% of everything you make off your very lucrative forthcoming pod, that would be great. Also, another option, today's news is tomorrow's newspaper.
That's good.
It's
too.
long.
It's really good.
It is long.
But what about that be like just the subtitle?
Yeah.
Just like your slogan.
But then I have to give like 40% to Slevi, and I'm sort of
Worth it.
suddenly like,
You need
there's
a
not
lot
a
of
lot left for
almond
poor old
breeze.
deep hardened donkey at the end of yonder day. Anyway, keep an ear out.
Definitely at least one person who laughed in, on public transport or in a public place when you said deep hardened donkey. I'm just putting that out there.
That's definitely
Come
happening.
forth in the corner and reveal yourself. Disney Plus, has it launched there yet? It's launched here. Is it
Yes.
out there yet?
Yeah.
I bought it
Did
ASAP.
you?
Yeah, I got it. I love it.
Shit, there's a lot on there, eh?
There's a lot on there. There's a lot of amazing, really funny, shitty 90s movies that I completely forgot about. I watched a little clip the other day of one called The Canned Worms,
What?
I believe. There's just all the real funny, like people have been tweeting all the really funny titles of things that seem completely fake, like a film called The Biscuit Eater. Oh my God, Canned Worms doesn't exist.
Oh,
Can of Worms?
oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's
Oh
an
yeah,
expression.
Can of Worms, see? And it's got this alien that's got teeth. So watch
You're
that.
so made up.
I mean, yes, Marvel, Star Wars, bloody The Simpsons,
But
all
Can
of
of
the
Worms.
Disney catalogue. But Can of Worms, James and the Giant Peach, there's some good deep cuts in there. I don't know if I'll keep it forever, but I like it for now.
I have
Big
children.
one
I
for
will
you.
keep it forever.
Huge one. Yeah,
Okay.
and I am a child.
Let's move on. Can I just, Alex, can you put yourself in front of the camera? I can't see it all. And
Sorry,
I'd like to-
hello.
Oh, hi. No, just both of you is good. Yeah.
Okay.
This is both of us. I will say one cheeky thing though. One cheeky thing. They have all the they look like they have all the Star Wars titles, but if you go and click on The Last Jedi, it's not coming until April 27th, 2020. So they're doing
windowing. Bit of windowing, are
bit
they?
of- yeah,
If you know what windowing means,
Exactly.
then you can listen to my media podcast.
Can't wait.
What about the window? Secret window, Johnny Depp.
You like that?
Yeah.
I am disgusted at how much you have copied my husband.
What about instead of the name of the podcast being Deep Hardened Donkey, you are Deep Hardened Donkey. So it's like the window with Deep Hardened Donkey.
It's definitely time for a rebrand.
Or maybe we change our names. One of us is Deep, one of us is Hard, and the other one's Donkey. So this is the real. Okay, sorry.
I actually quite like that.
It's week 3. It's week 3 in Bake Off, and it's celebration week. And my favourite thing about this celebration week is that we couldn't even time it with our reality TV. We're so second-rate at it. We couldn't even time our Halloween episode to air
So late.
at Halloween.
It's
got to be
amazing.
3
eh?
weeks late.
Do you think that was just they must have planned to make it around that and then just
Do you think?
scheduling?
Scheduling issue?
It's very funny.
I don't know.
They could have held on to
It
it
was
and let it
amazing.
roll over to Easter.
It's
you know?
very 3.5 stars. Is
Yeah.
what it is.
But a spooky cake is a spooky cake always. And you can
Yeah,
Oh,
go
so
with
you
that's
just
true.
claimed deep. That means you're hard, Jane.
I'm hard. It's fair. Yeah, no, but it was Halloween themed. It wasn't just spooky. They wanted Halloween. So I definitely think there was something they're not telling us. But anyway, we'll start off with the signature bake, which was the classic ANZAC biscuit. I mean, bit of a snore fest, right? For the old cooking show.
Twas.
Don't you think?
Although Trev really upped the ante, didn't he? He's always
Trev is crazy good.
yeah.
I'm
Trev is of interest to me.
I'm starting to think he's just lying about all the things he can do now. Like it's getting too much. We're only in week 3. Ex-military, Iron Man.
I have some goss.
Purveyor
Yeah,
of
he's basically
Hold on,
like
socks.
Jack Reacher.
Um,
His Halloween cake was. I mean,
God.
we'll get to it obviously,
I've
but
lost
it was
you.
just unbelievable. Pro, what? No, you've lost Alex. You got me.
well, I lost you for a second. It was
We
terrifying.
back. She back.
Yeah. We back.
Okay, I got a message from an anonymous source
Whoa. Okay, go.
who said, "Read the Great Kiwi Bake Off. You might already know this. ... I thought I recognised Trevor, brackets Trev, from when I first joined the New Zealand Navy back in 1993. During my basic training, he was one of our chefs at Devonport. His hair was memorable even then. I was under the impression that the contestants were all meant to be amateurs, but as a chef in the Royal New Zealand Navy, he was city and guilds trained and qualified. Still hoping he wins, mind you.
Wow. Is that?
Yeah.
See, we broke that last week.
I think you might have just tweeted it out. Like that's definitely a story for like a mainstream news outlet.
Is it?
I reckon just have at it. Stuff in the Herald.
Well, hang on.
Race.
Wait,
Yeah, but tag in the real.
We talked about this last week.
Link to the real pod. Huh?
We talked about it last week. About the fact that he trained under Simon Gould.
Oh, okay. There you well. Stuffed circuit, you've got two things,
Jesus
two sources
Christ.
to work with there. Just make
Anyway,
sure you link to the real pod.
he packs his bickies with meaning. He adds poppies to them, and then he doesn't really mess with the original recipe after that, out of respect for the great biscuit. But he does do some sort of he went for almost like a portrait, military style
Silhouette
extra
photo.
biscuit thing.
Yeah, bonus Bicky.
Bonus bicky. There was nothing really to talk about in the biscuits. Do you think?
Nah, boring.
No, I don't think so.
Also,
really
I've got
know.
17 minutes, and
Okay, we'll move on to the tech challenge, the hot cross bun challenge, which, by the way, I would have won had I been on there. I
yeah.
can make
Yeah.
hot cross buns really well. Yeah.
What did we think of the pure smut of Madeline's Brazilian buns chat?
I missed that.
Oh, it was very funny.
Probably too rude.
It was I've been censored out of young Alex's version. I thought it was very funny.
Not as rude as something that came up in Top Model, which we'll get to a little bit later on in the episode. But the buns, what happened? The only thing that was of any note was they broke into song singing
Yeah.
Wonderful World. But Trev was not about it. He
Yeah.
was like, I'm using every second to make my caramel cross or something.
Yeah, just like you're putting weird caramel on a like a chopping board. What are you doing? Trev?
Which Dean Brett Schneider was very unimpressed with anyway. So
Bit of
it
a-
didn't serve its purpose.
Bit of a grumpy Dean this episode. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The critiques.
Anadol had very bad bumpy lumpy buns. They didn't work.
Lumpy bums.
Right,
She had too many
Louise came
raisins.
second and Ethan won.
That's
No,
what I wrote
what she
down.
did is she didn't shape them well. She had it wasn't the amount of raisins.
No,
She
but there were
hadn't-
just also as a separate observation, too many raisins.
You don't like a raisin?
They all have a
Fuck
lot of
a
too many.
raisin.
But
Fuck
they're
a
sticking
raisin.
with
Like a
this.
Wow.
raisin.
Oh,
Give me a chocolate hot cross bun and get out.
No! Oh my god.
I love a chocolate hot cross bun too.
Millennial.
Millennial. Whoa.
Okay, boomer.
Oh, there it
Asked for it.
Too easy.
The whole point of the tech challenge though is they're all working off the exact same recipe, so she wouldn't have had any more fruit than anyone else.
But she did. Her raisin, it was off the charts amount.
Okay. Look, Louise came second. Ethan won. Great. Time for the showstopper. The Halloween cakes to celebrate Halloween 3 weeks ago. There was a moment during watching them do these cakes that I was like, none of these people are really any good. That all looks a bit shit.
It was very nailed
Are
it
they-
at
Very
times.
nailed it.
Just at the beginning when like Naomi's mixing up and there's just food colouring everywhere. And then Anna's brain cake situation, which came out okay,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't looking good for a while there. But actually, they all came together quite well. It was interesting because when you know how they do the little pictures and be like, this is what this person's making. And I was watching it with Mum, and when it came to the Frankenstein cake, she was like, oh, that's funny. Why would you want to make something that looked like that? And then I realised that they draw the pictures in retrospect after they've made it so that it will look, do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because it was so specific the way that the little picture was drawn and so ugly and looked terrible. It was like,
I
there's
love
no way
Frankenstein.
that's what she was going for. It's just,
What
I
was the
know, but
name
it's
of-
just what she ended up with.
Yeah. But the brain cake
was like
looked
a cute
properly
Frankenstein.
disgusting and frightening and good.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was obviously just a bad cake. But
Yeah.
what was the name of the person who went home?
Emma.
Emma.
The young
Emma. Yeah, what was her
young
picture
farm girl.
of? 'Cause
Her
that
cake was a true shit show. Like that was
Yeah, it wasn't
just
great.
not good.
I did like the glass as a detail. The detail.
Don't promote other podcasts.
I did.
I thought if she'd done like a whole cake with glass and like blood coming out of it would look cool, but instead it was just weird.
She just went too big and
too little
Weird
too late.
spiders.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Trev did a bloody
Heather's
good
grave,
job.
he did, and so did Heather. Heather did a great job with her grave, and Dean did the whole "I don't like it," and they used that to promo throughout the whole episode. Dean not liking it, and then there was the dramatic pause, and he was like, "I love it," and he got my mum so good. She was watching, she's like, "Oh,
Really?
I can't believe he's going to say that to someone. Oh, what's going to happen?" And then he came back with the "I love it," and she was,
that's so cute.
poor woman. Heather got Star Baker. Emma went home. The end. And we'll be back to recap New Zealand's Next Top Model episode 6 from Cycle 1 right after this.
Sorry to interrupt. We have a very important message.
If you love the spin-off, and you do, like if you're listening to this, you do, the best way to show it is to become part of the spin-off members.
This is a fund that helps keep the spin-off free and accessible to everyone without a paywall.
It also funds some of our most important journalism, like the stuff that we absolutely cannot do any other way without your help.
To get involved, you can pay whatever you want, as little as you want.
Yeah,
Is that true?
$1 a year.
$1 a year. Think of that, Tina. $1 a year.
And then you get to say you're part of something.
You get to be part of a club. I don't think there's any club you can join for $1 a year.
Yeah,
apart
it
from
might have
this.
been a mistake, to be fair, pricing out of that.
If you want to up it a little bit for $8 a month, you will get a book. The first ever spin-off book.
It's a sick book. There's 2 copies in front of Alex. The only 2 copies in the world right now, we think, maybe.
One of them has been used as a coaster, but it's also good for a read. We've also got very exciting.
This is huge.
This is huge.
Sit down wherever
Sit
you
down. Tell your friends.
are.
No.
This for the cornies. Like this is literally for the cornies, and it's a chance to show your level and your loyalty, and to compete and beat the other podcasts made by the spin-off.
For a very limited time, for a very exclusive number of you, you're going to get a Real Pod badge if you sign up to the spin-off members and say that you're a friend of the Real Pod.
Yeah,
Is
if
that
you,
how we're doing it?
you have to join at the book level, which is the $8 a month level. You you get everything else. So you get the tote, you get the book, you get the sticker, and the badge, and the Real Pod badge, which is, there's going to be like maybe 50 of these things in the world ever.
Elite. So
Elite
you have to
status.
go to thespinoff.co.nz/the Real Pod.
Correct.
Sounded
Oh,
like
no,
a
no,
question.
no. It's, no. When I say correct, I mean incorrect.
Oh, okay.
The spinoff.co.nz/real pod. No, the
Oh.
/real pod. I feel like that's like a long time mistake of yours.
Yeah, but that's what it.
No.
But the podcast is called The Real Pod.
Yeah, but the URL is not. Okay, look, I'll make
Okay.
another URL.
Okay.
Gosh. All right, please do that. We want to win. We want to beat the other podcasts.
That's the main thing here.
Well, and
Apart from all
also-
the other good stuff, like support our journalism, keep the lights on, all of that. But we have to win.
Especially Gone By Lunchtime. If Gone By Lunchtime beat us, it's over. Like, is it? Can we make threat? Okay, let's stop it. Thank you.
Bye.
Kia ora, sorry for this interruption. It's Alice Neville here. I am the food editor at The Spin-Off, and I just wanted to pop in and tell you about our food podcast, Dietary Requirements. Hosted by me, Simon Day, and Sophie Gilmore, it celebrates all there is to know about eating and drinking. There's cooking tips, there's special guests, there's what we've been eating and drinking lately, and we try not to chew into the microphone too much. So, if you like food and drink, listen in. You won't regret it. It's at thespinoff.co.nz and all your favourite podcast providers.
Okay, top nine on New Zealand's Next Top Model. We start off with a prop posing lesson on one of the North Shore beaches of Auckland.
Oh my god.
Vitamin
Vitamin water.
Okay, look, why is she? It's like they deliberately put her first in the challenges so she could be super awkward and do badly, and then everyone else kind of like watches her and goes, "Don't want to be like that."
Yeah, but
They
she
did
put
it in
herself
both the
first.
challenges this week. Hey,
She put herself first. She's got this.
did she?
Yeah. She's got that
Oh, God.
cool vitamin water confidence. That was such like a.
I remember-
That's so 2009.
I
eh?
know. When vitamin water arrived, it felt like we were suddenly like sophisticated country of the world.
Yeah. And what even was it?
Who was it? Was 50 Cent or something?
Yeah,
It was like
50 Cent
someone
had a
crazy
big
who was behind
investment in it. Vitamin water, I was just, that was just like, just snapshotted that moment in time so intensely, eh? And vitamin water is basically Powerade with a nice label.
Yeah.
And I think we figured that out subsequently because
Is
you
it
don't see
still
it
around?
everywhere.
I feel like Sam Brooks still drinks vitamin water somehow.
Does have his sort of sophisticated yet trashy aura.
Can I just say, speaking of 50 Cent, just 2 shout outs from Friday Jams. I saw Monique from Maths Season 2 and Stefan from Maths Season 3 at
What,
Friday
together?
Jams. No. Should have made that clear.
That would have been
Stefan
amazing.
was like leaning on a pole, and I was like, I was just looking at her, I was like, who's that tall person? And I was like, ugh. Oh my God, he was by himself, just leaning on a
Did
pole.
you retch?
No, I was just like, oh my God. And then I choked out, and I didn't, I choked in both instances, and I did not get photographs because it's Friday Jams, people are
Live a
having a
little.
good time. They don't want to be dealing with podcasts.
They don't want to be pestered. The
freaks.
celebrities don't want to be pestered by the fans.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
That was all.
Okay. What else? Victoria had toilet paper to pose with. Audrey had an apple.
Victoria
had a
did well,
fan, blah, blah, blah,
considering.
blah, 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 blah. Very good. Okay. The challenge was doing some trapeze acts and so on. Cutting some good shapes on hoops and silks and trapeze stuff.
And Micaiah Carr, she's a person, right?
Yes.
She's an influencer.
So she's
now.
an influencer.
Yeah.
So she has this former life as a person with an actual job. What was she? She's like the retail
Max,
manager or something. For
Yeah,
Max.
she was a part-time model. I think was how she was credited, along with being the retail manager of Max. Quite a slight.
So she knows her stuff.
Very Flight of the Conchords.
There's a little. Can we talk about what happened to
Problematic.
Arjo?
Yes, very problematic episode.
Worst episode
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
Just
this-
when you think it couldn't get any worse.
I know. And do you know what? Next week's looks pretty bad.
Oh my God, next week's looks so bad. It shocked me all this time. So Arjo basically doesn't want to get up on the trapeze and spread her legs because in her culture that's not, considered okay. And instead of being sort of sensitive to that and letting her use a different device or strike a different pose, it's all like, well, this is modelling. If you can't do exactly what you're told, you're not going to last. And the cultural insensitivity of it is breathtaking at this distance, eh?
It's so crazy. And she still did it. She did the challenge.
terrible.
She just sat down and was clearly incredibly uncomfortable and
She was
crying.
Very uncomfortable. Yeah. But ultimately, it got her sent home as well.
That's the thing.
That's the
There was
crazy
never.
thing.
That's the great. So there was never a moment of reflection amongst the judges who were like, we understand it's a cultural thing, but unfortunately, modelling you are gonna, and it will. The reality is, if there are certain things you're not prepared to do because of your culture, which is well within your rights, you may lose some jobs. But we appreciate you giving it a go. Da 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 da. But no, it was like. You didn't do it because you were clearly difficult. So see you later. That was your decision, your choice. You basically sent yourself home. It was horrible. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was. The whole thing was just. It's so shocking. And it just feels racist. You can't really dress it up any other way.
Oh, it's 100% racist.
And
sadly, our CMJ even said that she was a quitter. Called her a quitter.
A lighter note, how good was Victoria with the TP?
Oh, and the posing challenge. Yeah.
Amazing.
She rocked
yeah.
that TP.
Really made TP. Who knew that TP could be sexy?
Well, I did. I knew. Who doesn't rock a
The
TP pose
raunchy
every now and again?
TP was incredible.
I also like when Laura had the book and just popped it on top of her head, and Chris Cicerich
Yes.
was like, oh, wow.
The book.
She is so imaginative.
The book and the toilet
she
paper as the
prefaced
best
it.
props is just amazing. Fuck, it was
She
cool.
prefaced it by saying, "This book is called On Top of My Head" or something.
Yeah,
And then she was very literal. It was great. My favourite part of the whole episode, there was so much I didn't like, but my favourite part was when they did their little sponsor bit where they used the phones. Like they showcased how phones work by calling home.
It was basically like, because basically, do you remember how like calls used to be like $1.50 a minute for like our whole lives, and texts were like only 10 cents? Fuck, we used to get gouged. But it's like they were trying to teach young people that phones weren't just for texting. It was like just the way the staginess of all of the phone calls just felt like it was this luxury. Yeah. Look at the way they're living. They can call with their phones. Fuck, it was funny.
It was, and they did it. They did a whole piece about how they were all like starting to go crazy in the house, and then it was like, oh, it's so great though because we get to call people back home, and they showed a couple of phone calls. It was cute.
And Olivia
hung as hell.
Hungover Olivia being like, I had a really big night last night. Talking to Lucy, it was so funny.
I had the biggest night I've ever had in my life.
That's pure New Zealand.
Because you can imagine she comes back from being on Next Top Model and she is it in Christchurch. It's just there's parties for days, and she was suffering under a big one.
It had been her birthday the day before, so she was like not only a big time celebrity now, but a big time celebrity celebrating her birthday out in the town. She did not get home till at least 4:30 a.m. The photo shoot was smiling in a car showing off some Michael Hill jewellery watches. And again, our show, unfortunately, was never going to do well because she was wearing braces and the photographer doesn't want to see braces, but it's a smiling challenge. So good luck with that, Ajo. I mean, come on.
It's just horrible.
So is that orthodontic shaming? It wasn't just her. It was also, there were a couple of people who were a bit self-conscious about their teeth.
Yeah, Laura. One of them.
Yeah, and no one really did anything to make anyone feel better about it. They're just like, well, smile with your mouth shut.
I mean, as Chris Cicerich put it, in your modelling career, you're going to be asked to do all sorts of stuff.
And there's going to be a really prime example on next week's episode.
Yes, there is. What a show.
Hosanna was in the episode quite a lot, and it turns out that's because she won, despite the fact... Did she win? This week? Oh no, she didn't win, but she did really well in that photo shoot challenge, which she felt had gone terribly. A lot of crying.
Yada. Victoria said she's being a dick.
During the elimination, in which Ajo was sent home for terrible reasons, CMJ described Hosanna as she sat on an ever-ready battery and she's just going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Due to her enthusiasm for modelling.
I feel like even in the room, though, someone kind of like said something, I feel. Good on you, Cole.
Everyone cracked up and it went a bit awkward, but then Pieta was like, just quietly, she goes, right, 9 volts.
I missed that. Was that the lady with the hair?
Yeah, she's the Fashion Week.
It was the lady with the hair. Yeah, she's the Fashion Week.
Was that hair?
Founder.
Okay.
Was that hair? Did you say was that hair okay?
That hair was interesting.
Was that interesting hair?
Good hair?
I don't know. I mean, she has been around a long time, so it might have been good hair that's sort of moved on a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the look. And Colin had like a hard out gelled like finger wave from the 30s.
He had
incredible.
During one of the challenges, he had like the full slick back ponytail and full ring around the eyes, eyeliner. Loved it.
So
very dramatic.
He has got such a versatile, like his whole thing. He can do. He's just every time he's got a whole different vibe, and it's great. And God, Colin, the best.
Colin, if you're listening, does Colin actually listen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the
he
way?
says they all listen, which I don't know if it's true, but I like him saying it.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to know if how he feels looking back on these episodes. I assume he's watching along with us. Anyway, love to hear from you, Colin. Speaking of,
Colin's Granny, Colin's Granny, Colin's Granny, 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 Granny,
Colin's Granny.
We are deep heart and dunking into Colin's Granny this week. Not only was he the quizmaster extraordinaire at our Corny Christmas, but he also posted this tweet. I have an invitation to be sent a kit and make a full print of my wazzle to turn it into art by a Wellingtonian. But I don't have the fortitude to go through all the fine print and contracts and see if I'll get in trouble.
Weasel! Does that
Weasel!
mean what we think it means?
It's got to be.
How are you
To make a
spelling?
full
Is it
print.
just Z's? Z's all the way down? Oh my god, I just wrote Weasel as my password.
Don't say your password on the radio.
So a full print. What are you
Oh my
doing?
God.
Are you looking at Weasel? Is that a word?
Okay.
I don't know.
That's actually too rude for the pod.
It's
we found
too rude
it.
for the pod. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Colin also got another Wellington artist, not Weasel, but Fazel, did a lovely portrait of him wearing a giant hat, like an oil painting, which he posted on his Instagram last night. And as is my immediate thought with everything, I'm like, should we buy it?
Oh, is it for sale?
Well, anything's for sale for the right price. I would love it. It's so cool. Imagine a huge oil painting of Colin Mather Jeffrey. Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
I'm
kind
just
of what
looking up.
that's kind of what this studio needs in a way.
let me find it.
So-
It's,
Sorry, I got lost on the internet trying to look up Weasel. The
Oh,
things that
wow.
I find for Weasel are not dirty at all. It's like a dancing style originated from Finland.
That's quite funny. That's probably the geography of Weasel searching. Have you got safe search on? Just out of interest.
I do not have safe search on.
Hey,
I can confirm.
haven't done this in a while, but I have to go.
bye.
Well, look, actually though, like literally just this.
I still have to go.
Subscribe. One.
Max Key Corner. I know, I'll never forget you.
Damn.
Okay, so
6. Holy shit.
no,
Is
the
it?
last one gets cut out.
Okay,
The last one
it's
gets
fine.
cut out. It says like it. But
There are different
the
versions.
problem is,
I have to go.
in the corner, there's another version. Oh, look, there's nothing to say for Max Key
I
Corner.
have
except
something to
discuss
say.
how many like and subscribe.
My name
Oh,
is Jasmine Masters, and I have something to say.
Okay.
Just a reference.
Have a
for
lovely
Duncan.
time. It was a
about
lovely
5 people
pod.
out there.
Goodbye, everyone. Listen to my media
Bye.
podcast. Thank you.
Max Key knows about the spin-off book. You know that?
I love it so much.
An anonymous source, again, an anonymous source has sent me a conversation with Max Key. And I shall read it thusly. Hey bro, how are you? I've just been looking at this book that's come out and you're on the cover, ha ha. He replies almost immediately. Ha 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 ha, Buzzy, what book? And then he says, I was at Unity on High Street and I saw a book made by the spin-off. It's got all these cool cartoons of New Zealand peeps and you're there. Hang on, I'll get a photo of it. He sends Max a picture of the spin-off cover with himself circled. And he says, and then he says, thoughts, haha? Max says, ha ha ha, fuck yeah, that's dope. Ah, he loves it. He's back on board, baby.
That's exciting.
We need to get him a
What's
copy.
the real pod?
What's the real pod?
What's the real pod? If you're wondering before what we were talking about the fact that someone, I don't know, was it in the quiz? How many full like and subscribes are in the? Is that part of the quiz?
Yes,
at
it
Corny
became a
Christmas?
very hectic scene of like a full Nando's shouting at me various numbers and me shouting back, it's 5, and then quite aggressively playing the sting in my ear. The problem is, which I think is something we should have anticipated, is that there are different versions of the sting out there, and sometimes they get cut off on the pod and whatever. But I listened to the full one that I've got in my little go button doohickey stingy player, and I heard 7. But Ollie Chick said they heard 9. 9!
Oh my
As
god!
I live
it is,
and
honestly.
breathe. So it's just
Laurel or Yanni.
it's just very great.
Okay, that's our podcast for this week. A little on the short side, but hopefully enjoyable for you all. We'll be back next week. If you like this podcast, please give us a 5-star review and write nice things. 5-star rating, write nice things.
Tag your
tell your
flatties,
mates,
tag
tell
your
your mum.
flatties, tag
Something
in
for
it.
everybody.
Tag us in. I've been trying to be better on Instagram, posting, you
Yes.
know, things in the story. If you tag us in, we'll give you a huge promo.
You have got 115% chance of having your story reposted if you tag us in on your Instagram stories.
Was that
because-
115 or 15?
No, 115.
Oh, wow. That's a big
Yeah.
promise.
Unless you don't put anything, nothing rude though. No willies or anything.
No willies, no wazzles.
No willies. I couldn't. Anyway, we'll talk about that off here.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Thanks very much for listening. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Nando's. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Epson Duncan. And we'll catch you next week.
Thank you, Jane.
Hooroo.
Bye, everybody.
Hooroo.
Hooroo.
Kia ora, I'm Duncan Grieve, founder of The Spinoff. You can help us keep all of The Spinoff's award-winning journalism free for everybody by becoming a member today at thespinoff.co.nz/donate.
Kia ora e te iwi, Te Aihe Butler here, podcast manager at The Spinoff. If you enjoy listening to our podcasts, consider supporting our mahi by signing up to become a Spinoff member at thespinoff.co.nz/donate. The Spinoff Podcast Network.